Welcome to Property Break. Today we're talking about how to make your home irresistible to buyers or renters. Joining me is Jillian Summers, expert stager and designer, here to share tips on how to showcase your home at its best. Good morning, Jillian.
Good morning, Toby. How are you?
I'm lovely, but even better to discuss this topic, something I could even have some help with.
Yes.
Now, some people might underestimate staging. Can you tell me why it's important to think about when buying or even renting?
Staging is so important because if you think about walking down the aisle, for example, you would never walk down the aisle without preparing yourself as a bride for your wedding. Mm-hmm. The purchase of a home is someone's largest investment, one of them, that they'll make in their lifetime. So if you're going to sell it, you need to ensure that it's ready for its debut on the market. That means preparing it properly for sale. So doing all of the proper things, getting it in order, cleaning it, and all, depersonalizing it, decluttering it, painting it, several different factors so that you get the most value on the sale. And if you think buyers are searching online first before they get off the couch and go and view the property. Mm-hmm. So online photos are so important, and that comes down to staging as well.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people may not have the money to redo the entire place or to stage every room. Are there certain areas that they should focus on?
I think from a staging perspective, it's the most important rooms that a woman or a man as a couple or family would be looking at. So the living space, the kitchen, the primary bedroom, you want that to be your place of solace and retreat. As well as just making sure that buyers can envision themselves living in the space.
Right. Okay. Speaking of being able to envision the space, there are specific things that people can focus on in those spaces to elevate it. Can you talk to me about what those things they should think about are?
I think some of the do-it-yourself things that you can think about that aren't super expensive that will elevate your space. You could focus on updating your lighting, neutralizing the paint colors, just making the space more of a neutral palette for people to envision living there. If you like bright red, not everybody loves bright red or emerald green or whatever the color may be, right? That's more of a personal style, so you want to depersonalize that.
Okay, so it sounds like you're saying you want to create an environment that people can see themselves putting their own spin on it.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, some people might think, I don't want, everything can't be beige. How can they get past this, keeping it neutral, but giving a little accent to it?
Well, that's where the textures come in and patterns. You can use beige, but you can add, a little bit of different textures and textiles to create some more visual interest.
Okay, interesting. I like what you mentioned about the lighting. Now, what are some of your first thoughts when bringing in texture? Where could those elements be done? Obviously, pillows.
So you can do it with your accent cushions, yes, and I'm a big fan of accent pillows all over the place. I know most men do not like them. All of my clients' husbands usually message me and they're like, no pillows. We're so sick of putting them on and taking them off and putting them on and taking them off. But they do add an element of a design flair that's still neutral enough to entice all different kinds of buyers.
Lovely.
Yes.
I'd love to take a look at a before and after photo.
Sure. Yeah.
So I know we have one that is the dining area. What are the elements that you use to stage this to help them make it?
Yeah, this is a great example of a stage that I did for Property Cayman, and I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. I just went in and added a little bit, of more of a neutral palette. So we removed the art that was currently there.
Okay.
Added, 3 larger pieces, because scale's important, right? If you have a very large space, you have to make sure the size of art works in that space. Okay. But I kept the dining table and chairs because we were on a certain budget, and then I just added one simple accent piece in the center of the dining table, and that was it.
Wow.
So you don't have to break the bank if you're on a budget. We can stage very reasonably cost-wise.
So the specific art and the spacing on the wall is also important for making the room feel like it connects. That's a really good point. I think we have another one specific to a living area. Yes. Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, so this was another room that was staged, and when I walked in and I did the consult, what struck me was there was a lot of bright, bold colors, and I really wanted to tone that down a little bit because I didn't want the buyer to be focusing on what was in the space, but I wanted them to focus on the space itself. So we changed out the area rug, removed the red flowers, just added some accent cushions that were more neutral in color.
And you were able to keep the green and the gray
the green chair was
from
still
the,
okay. So it was a little pop of color, but not too much.
Okay.
So it's just that fine line and happy medium in terms of staging that you just have to tweak it a little bit. But again, cost effective. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We didn't have to order everything. But we did replace something.
Yeah, so you can focus based on your own budget on the areas that you can afford, and you can give it that lightness that people would appreciate.
Exactly.
For somebody looking to do this, how much should they realistically look to spend?
Well, I guess it all depends in terms of if we have to order things or can we make use of most of the things in their house. But if they had a budget between, I would say, $3,000 to $6,000, we could get it done. The most important rooms anyway.
Exactly,
a good change for sure.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any other recommendations for those who are thinking of selling their space or trying to get their space rented? Because that's also something people need to see themselves in. What advice would you give them?
Most importantly, clean the house. Make sure it is sparkling clean. Take everything off the kitchen counters. We don't want to see your dish rack. We don't want to see, your old coffee maker, etc. Clean it all up. Tuck it away nicely. Depersonalize the space. So if you have a lot of personal mementos, just remove them. You don't want people looking at them and reading all of your personal information anyway. So it's a good time to purge and declutter. Get rid of all that stuff that you've been meaning to wear for 7 years and you still haven't worn it. That now is a perfect time to do so. And just make sure that the furniture placement is right. A lot of times I go into a property on Cayman and, the beds are on the wrong wall. The dresser is tucked in behind the door. It's set up for living, but maybe not the right space plan.
Right, okay.
So make sure that just changing the room around with the furniture makes all the difference in the world.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing some of these insights.
Welcome.
I think people will get a lot from them, honestly. We'll be right back after this break.